Dream in the house this Monday morning, and we're coming off the cusp of the World Series ending in dramatic fashion as the Kansas City Royals get the job done. They get it done late, and Dr. Dan is hollowing in his sorrow right now. We send a big shout out and big love and big hugs out to Dr. Dizzle, who probably is on 15-minute watch. It's the Dream. I got my boy Mad Hatter. Let's get going.
Hey, congratulations to you for calling the Kansas City Royals to win the World Series, man. And I'll tell you right now, I mean, Dan said it yesterday, they're like gnats. I mean, they just won't go away, kid. Unbelievable. 2-0 at the top of the ninth inning. You bring the Dark Knight, Mr. Matt Harvey, back on the mound to close the game out. Gives up a walk right out the gate, then a double to Hosmer. They score a run, and I got to be honest with you, though, dude.
Be honest.
One of the plays really kind of got under my skin, and I'm going to talk about this. You got a man on third. You got Hosmer on third, and there's a ground ball hit to the shortstop. Mr. Wright, David Wright, coming from third base, cuts Flores off all the way in shortstop to get the ground ball with his back to Hosmer, and then throws the ball. So now he's got to grab the ball, he's got to turn all the way to Hosmer, and then throw the ball to first base. Versus instead of staying home, because the infield's up anyway, let Flores grab the ball, look off Hosmer, stay home, as a third baseman, throw it to first, and then he doesn't even take off for home. You know what I mean? It's just a routine thing. But you know what? Hey, in the heat of the moment, everybody makes mistakes sometimes, and that's what ended up happening. And, hey, congratulations to the Kansas City Royals. Heads up base running, heads up pitching, everything, their bullpen, their small ball, their home run ball at times. I mean, just something. They had everything this year.
Hey, here's the thing, guys, and I said this before. I said this when I took the KC, and you guys know I told you guys that I was on KC, that I liked them, and my thing was, if anybody had said that the Mets were going to win the World Series or be in the World Series 3 months ago, everybody kind of would have laughed. And I know anything could happen over the landscape of sports, but the Mets had a lot of things kind of fall their way. And, yeah, I'm not going to take anything away from the way they played baseball. Yes, they did play good baseball. Right. But technically, guys, the Mets were not supposed to be there. All right? We saw the same thing happen with KC last year, okay? And then here's the other dynamic of the Mets. They're a young team. A lot of mistakes that you saw made, I am going to give them the benefit of the doubt and just blame it on their youth. They were a youthful team in a big spot. Now, I know that certain things should have panned out differently, should have worked a different way. Hey, Pete Carroll's sitting around saying the same thing about the Super Bowl thing. He shouldn't have threw that pass. He should have ran Marshawn Lynch. Whatever. That's the landscape of sports. Yep. All right? But you had a team that got extremely hot, and a lot of times what goes up eventually must come down, and the magic eventually runs out. And I just think, unfortunately for the Mets, it just, the heat just, left a balloon. You know what I mean? It just left out of there. This Kansas City Royal team, very patient team. They just looked like that. They reminded me of that season. You know what? This game reminded me of Ollie Foreman, the Rumble in the Jungle. That's what this fight that's what this game reminded me of, where you had this young kid in Foreman coming in. He was knocking everybody out, and Ali's the old KG vet, or, the older statesman, the better boxer or whatever, and there was no chance, and they should win, and they're going to be this, and they're more power and that, and then Ali just rope-a-dose him to death and eventually knocks him out, and that's what it felt like. Like KC, they never panicked. They were always cool, calm, collective. Down 2 runs last night late in the game.
Multiple times.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, multiple times in the series. I mean, just in the series alone.
Yeah, dude, they never got flustered.
Never. And I think they came back more from a multi-run deficit than any other team in the playoffs. I'm almost positive about that, or tied the record or something like that. But, I bring it back to Game 1, Dream.
Yep.
I bring it back to Game 1 when the Mets had it in the bag. The Mets had their foot on their throat. Yep. And Familia gives up the home run to Gordon, and I think the whole complexion of the series changed with that one long ball into center field, man.
But you know what? It's still, that's Game 1. So, yeah, while you say that, maybe the Mets, could have went on and won it. But, I mean, look what KC did to Houston, dog. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They were down. I mean, it was it. And they still came back and beat them. So, I don't necessarily know that even if the Mets had won Game 1, if KC still wasn't managed to figure out a way to game 2 to come back and win it out. That just was the makeup of his team. And hats off to them. Hey, Kansas City deserves. I've been watching them, and you have too.
Yeah.
They've been balling for the last couple of years. This is a great tribute to them. And the Mets should not hold their heads in shame at all.
No.
Great season. They overachieved hugely. I know it sucks when you don't win the World Series. After working so hard. But guys, guess what? Rub the dirt off. Get your head up. And get out there next year and get back like KC did. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, man. I mean, there was a bunch of 40s to 1s, 50s to 1s, and stuff like that earlier in the year with the New York Metropolitans, man. And one thing that they were talking about last night, I forgot who was saying it in the commentary crew, but he was saying that Kansas City from start to finish was always in like the top 5 as far as power rankings. Never really slipped out. Never really went on a nasty, nasty skid outside of like, when they went into the playoffs, they limped into the playoffs and won like 25% of their games in like the last like 3 weeks.
Right.
Other than that goes to show you right there, bro, that it doesn't matter how you perform before you get in the playoffs. When you get in the playoffs, it's 0-0, and that's your record when you get in there. You know what I mean? So, hey, you know what? Big ups to the Kansas City Royals. And one thing I got to say as well is that the New York Mets did sweep the Cubs, and when they sweep like an NLCS, something like that, you get a little bit of time off. And sometimes with the time off, you've seen this in all sports, sometimes they come out a little rusty,
Right.
So, hey, you know what? It is what it is. And Dream, for you, baseball is over till April of next year.
Hey, but I'm liking baseball. Baseball has been very, very good to me.
The baseball.
It was good to me, brother. In the end, all that talk I talked about baseball saved my day yesterday because I could not get out of my own way yesterday, man. Yesterday was such a rough day for me.
Was it really? I mean,
dude, I was all over all kinds of winners and did not pair them. I did not pair any of the winners right. I had it. Stuff was always mixed up with a loser, which was it was devastating. And that's why, a lot of guys don't like the parlays and the teasers and whatever have you, because you have a paired with another team that usually gets. But I'll be honest with you, dude. The Atlanta Falcons really put a damper on a day that would have been listen, my 1 o'clock would have went bananas.
The Atlanta Falcons, man, 4 straight turnover situations, driving. Like in the red zone, just outside the red zone, 4 straight turnovers, man. Fumbles, interceptions, just gave the game away. And almost could have won at the end, too, which is nuts.
Dude, and that killed me at the end. Their play calling at the end in overtime was just – and then I'm watching – my other thing is here's my thing with your defense. Your defense just watched your offense go down the field and score, so they should be in. You know what? I honestly almost wanted Atlanta, and I know they would never do it. When Atlanta scored their touchdown, do you know that I honestly almost wanted Atlanta to go for 2 and not kick the field goal?
Because they couldn't stop anybody.
Because the defense just couldn't stop it. I'm like, man, I was hoping that Jameis would make a mistake and something stupid would happen, but the defense just wouldn't stop him yesterday. And, Jonesy said yesterday in a tweet, and he's like, that Atlanta team, they don't have that killer instinct. They don't have that step on your throat, go out there and get that game. And you know what? I couldn't agree with you more about them. They just don't have it. But I'm going to tell you a team that does have that killer instinct that I should have talked about more yesterday, and I tried to talk about more yesterday with you and Dr. Dizzle, is the Cincinnati Bengals. That I had no idea why the Cincinnati Bengal game was a pick'em with their record. And I know you guys are going to be like, oh, it was a hard-fought game, this, that, and the other, and if the Bengals. Guess what? The Bengals were down to Seattle in their home the whole game, too, and came back and won. All right? I knew that Pittsburgh's defense was not going to hold them. And I know you guys are going to tell me at the beginning of the game this and that. Stop with all that. All right? Everybody got an excuse for a win or a loss. But when you win that way, I figured it would be that way. Stop. All right? Cincinnati's, they're 6-0, all right?
Yeah,
they're coming into play a Steelers team with a banged-up Ben Roethlisberger. Even if he came back, you knew he wasn't 100% healthy. If you bet on the Steelers yesterday, straight up in that game, that, to me, was not prudent because there's just no way that you could take Pittsburgh in that position as far as I'm concerned. All right, that's my opinion.
Big Ben gave the game away there, though, brother.
Because he was hurt.
3 interceptions, man.
But he was hurt. He's coming off of an injury, and he's pressing. I'm just saying.
Pressed a little too much, in my opinion.
No doubt.
I mean, I saw back-to-back INTs in that game, and they had the chance to lay the smackdown on the Bengals too, and just could not get the job done, man.
Hey, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Big Ben threw an interception, right? Let me ask you this: did Cincinnati catch the interception that he threw?
Of course.
Oh, of course. So then they had something to do with the interception too, no?
Yeah,
no?
But it went right to him, though.
Okay.
It wasn't like anything athletic or not.
Did Cincinnati send? Was there a pass rusher about to tackle Big Ben?
Yeah. They were kind of in their face a little bit. Ben was kind of harassed most of the day.
Give the Cincinnati defense some credit too, brother. By the way, what was the? Do you remember the score of the game?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
16-10, Bengals victory.
So Cincinnati did not allow the Pittsburgh Steelers to score more than 10 points either, huh?
No.
Okay. That a little bit the dynamic too.
Hey, big ups to my man Ben Rowe on here for he had a very good baseball season, man, and he's looking at a bunch of different things that are rocking and rolling on his ticket. Hey, congratulations on that, brother. Going back, so I guess we're jumping right.
I hear you, and I know some of the Steeler fans. I know it's a hard loss, a bad loss game. My opinion just was. And the Steelers played a lot better than I expected them to play, to be honest with you. But my opinion looking at that game was like you had to take Cincinnati or you had to pass. I just didn't see a way to take Pittsburgh. Just with Ben coming back, not knowing how healthy he was, and just knowing how good the Cincinnati Bengals were. To me, I just couldn't find myself. And I said it on the show. I didn't see a way to take Pittsburgh.
I thought Pittsburgh was going to win the game. I really do. Even before when we were talking about it on the show, I just had a feeling that Pittsburgh would win, and they should have probably won that dream. But hey,
I should have pounded the Arizona Cardinals, like I said.
Well, okay. Yeah, I know you were a little quiet in that game at the beginning when it was like 20-7 Browns, man. I was like, uh-oh. I'm like, not again. Is this team going to come after the dream yet again?
I'm sitting there saying the same thing, but the problem was I really wasn't concentrating on them as much as I kept looking at the damn Falcon game because the Falcons were making a mess of their game.
I know, man. I know. Carson Palmer, 374 yards, 4 touchdowns, and the Cardinals are now 6-2 with a 34-20 victory over the Browns, who are 2-6, and hey, you know what? They were down in that game pretty big, man. It was 20-7 in the second quarter, and they managed to put a field goal on and bring it within 10, and all of a sudden went ham in the second half. Made some really good adjustments defensively in the second half, Dream, and didn't even allow a point in the second half.
I know.
Good stuff. Good stuff there by the Arizona Cardinals, who are doing their thing, man.
Hey, they are definitely, listen, I really like this team. I like the way they play football. They're exciting to watch. I like their defense. They got an opportunistic defense. This is like one of my favorite teams this year. I don't know why. I seem to cling to a team every year at some point outside of my own team because I hate them right now. But Arizona is it for me. I really like what Arizona's doing. Certain teams impress me with the way they play, and I've been very impressed with this Arizona team, very impressed with the way they play. I like what they're doing. Now, a team that is not impressed me and that I really have got to let go of, dude, I got to let this Seattle Seahawks team go.
You got to let them go, bro.
I got to let this Seattle team go.
You got to let them go.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm at a spot where, like, I keep thinking that this is the team that went to the Super Bowl and won it 2 years ago. And this is not that team. I mean, a lot of the same pieces are there, but the offensive line is definitely not, they're not getting it done. And I will give Dallas, I'm going to say that Dallas's defense may be a little bit underrated. I'm going to give it that. But Seattle, man, and I question Russell. I'm telling you, dude, I got a lot of question marks now. And I know you talked about it in the past, too. Well, if Russell Wilson's a good quarterback.
You know what? I've been pounding that for God, like a year now. Just talking to you about it. He's a little. I know Kaepernick stinks, but
he's way better.
Yeah, he's way better than Cap. All right. He's way better than Cap. But if it's just the threat of his legs, man. That's the only. If he was a pocket passer, there's no way to even think of worrying about him, man. I don't think this kid is that good. I would rather have Killer Cam than Russ Wilson any day of the week, man. I keep trying to tell you that.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not ruling with Killer like that.
What's with you and Killer, man? Did you guys have a fight in school or something?
Because what you gonna say? What? Say that
Did
again?
you go to school with him and he got the starting job over you or something? What happened? What happened there, man?
You know what the problem with Killer is I don't like Killer's attitudes. When Killer's winning, Killer's like a capper, all right? When he's winning, he's dope and running his mouth and chewing gum, and it's a whole lot of talk to say. And then when he's losing, he's kind of pointing the finger at everybody else, and he's not really taking all the blame. And I don't like the way he acts. It's different dynamics from winning and losing. And he's just there's something about him where he's with the Superman thing and his kind of little bit of, I don't really mind showboating guys, but with him, it rubs me the wrong way because it's not, Russell Wilson, though, as far as his dynamic and I love how he handles himself as a professional athlete. Completely class. I'll give you that.
Yeah, no, definitely class.
Right.
All
I
day
really
long.
love the way how he handles himself and very classy. Now, here's my thing with Seattle. The first thing that bothers me about Russell Wilson, he drops way too far back in the pocket.
Way too far back.
Dude,
I've seen
way
that.
too far back.
You know what? Yep.
That bothers me, and I don't know why they haven't done something to address that because he's been actually doing that since he came into the NFL, and they've gotten away with it. But that really's got to they got to do something about that.
When you're a mobile quarterback, it gives you a slight advantage.
Sure.
When you've got more field to play with, you know what I mean, and that's and they like rolling out to the wide sides and stuff like that, and
sure.
You know what I mean. They can correct that. I think he does go back a little too far, but I think in his mind it gives him a more stronger advantage as far as seeing what's out there.
Oh, I'm for sure of that. But the thing is, you got to start thinking about it. It starts making now. It makes that it makes that 3rd and 5. Now it's really 3rd and
3rd
10,
and 15.
12, right? That's what I'm saying, right? So now when he gets rid of the ball, you know what I'm saying, his receivers, if they're running hook patterns or they're running out, sometimes they're running it. I saw a couple of times when they were in 3rd down situations, his receivers weren't past the line of script, past the 1st down line, which again is a problem for them as well. But when he's dropping back that far, sometimes they're thinking to come back to assist him. So, I do blame a little bit of their issues on their coaching staffs. I think that some of their stuff their coaching staffs can rectify. I also don't like their play calling at all. But I've talked about that along with Marshawn Lynch's mom. Unfortunately, this team is still going to hang around. The schedule gets really light. I'm going to be looking at them versus Arizona. Very interested in that particular matchup in Arizona, though, not in Seattle. But we'll keep an eye on them because they're still going to probably make the playoffs.
Well, they're 4-4 right now, and their schedule is one of the easiest moving forward in the second half of the year. We're already halfway through football, kid.
I know, dude. Awful.
Crazy, right? But when you look at, this is his prototypical numbers, though, man. 19 for 30, 210 yards, 1 touchdown. It's kind of like middle of the road. Just kind of, he never has, a huge 300, 400-yard game ever.
No, but the thing is they're not prototypically winning like they used to win at home, though. You know what I mean?
Well, they lost 1 game at home, though.
I know, but they usually do well at home, and it's a more of a comfortable, you know what I mean? They're just not dominating like they used to. The defense are giving up late. Their defense never lost games for them late. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the dynamic that they're offering this year that they haven't in years past. And I just, like I said, and then I watched their defense, and at times their defense can look pretty good, but at other times their defense doesn't look that great either. So I just, like I said, I got to fall back from them. I kind of, when you see them up against certain teams, you get kind of excited, like you got, David against Goliath, and you really don't. It's really more like, Goliath against, it's sort of like David against David. But moving on, you guys know on my fantasy team, I have Drew Brees as my quarterback. And I've been screaming and yelling all season long, except yesterday when Breezy won all by himself.
How many points did you get out of him?
I had 70 points out of him in one league.
Wow. That's very comparable to the one that I had with Peyton Ball. Remember that first time I played you a couple of years back? I think he had 7 touchdowns in that game. 511 yards for Drew Breezy. 40 for 50, kid. My God, 52 points. That looked like a college score, man.
So the game was insane. Because it was on because it's a Giant game. So I went to a bar yesterday and it was on, and I'm watching out at the peak of my eye. And like every time I looked up, it was a touchdown. Every time I looked up, it was like a long 30-yard throw. I'm like, geez, on both sides of the ball. It was like crazy.
I know. They were up 42-28, and all of a sudden it was tied. I was like, whoa. All right, man. And Eli had a really big game as well, man. Didn't he have 6?
Yeah, he did.
He went, 30 for 41, 350 yards, 8.5 yards per pass, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions with a passer rating of 138.2. I can't believe Breezy had 70 points in fantasy, kid.
Yeah, 70 points in one league. It's a little bit, that league's a little bit quarterback popular, yes. But in the other league, he still had, I think, 59, almost 60 points in the other league I'm in too. So he had a lot of points yesterday.
Wow, guys, we are on Twitter right now at SBTV Nation. A lot of people out here retweeting our show today, and we very much appreciate it and love doing the Monday morning quarterback for you here at the biggest show in the world, man. Looking at a couple of other affairs that went down yesterday, man. I mean, a nasty game in London, kid. The Chiefs just went ham on Detroit.
Son, England about to tell the NFL to kick rocks with these awful games they keep bringing them.
Brutal, right?
I know that people in England are sitting around going, I can't believe that Americans like this sport.
Yeah, I know.
Like, what's wrong with those dumb Americans?
They should have brought Breezy and the Giants over there.
Yeah, no doubt.
That would have been a hell of a matchup to see over there. They would have been like, oh, this ain't bad. This is straight. You know what I mean? But, hey, it is what it is. I think what makes it exciting for them is obviously, number one, football is dope, obviously. But number two is they can go right across the street and wager on it. So that makes it very exciting. So they can just go and, do all kinds of stuff as the game materializes. You know what I mean? So a couple of other games here of note. The San Francisco 49ers put up 6 points against the St. Lucia Rams, who are 4-3.
That's another game that I should have probably been all over with St. Louis because I know the Niners stink.
I didn't think St. Louis had any business giving 8 points.
No, I didn't either. I mean? But I don't think anybody's got any right to give any points on Sunday. I just, you know how I am. I'm money line or tease or whatever in every situation. And OJFB, I see you with the Steelers and an injury to Bell and Big Ben. And
that was nasty.
I get it. I see it. I understand. But my thing is, I'm just saying, before the game starts, for you to take the Pittsburgh Steelers, okay, versus an undefeated Cincinnati Bengal team, that's where I'm getting at. I have an issue with maybe some of the thinking that goes behind that, only because we knew that, Ben Roethlisberger was not completely 100% healthy running back. That's what I'm saying. Before that game, as far as I'm concerned, it should have been Cincinnati or no play prior to the game, just because of all the unknowns about the Steelers and what we do know about Cincinnati. That's all I'm trying to say.
Exactly, man. Exactly. So looking at this here, the Rams finish them up, win by 3 touchdowns, 27-6. Probably was a great underplay as well, man.
Yeah, pretty good, easy underplay. And then I know another game that probably a lot of people would have thought was under 2 and then blew right out of the gate was that Raider-Jet game, which had underrated all over it, and they went ham.
Yeah, they did. It was crazy, man. That game, and the Jets defense, I don't know what the hell happened to them, but 20-34, the Raiders victorious, and the Raiders have a winning record, man, 4-3.
No doubt, and the Jets lost on Fitzpatrick in that game.
Yeah, they had a thumb injury or something.
Broke his thumb.
Oh, he broke his thumb.
Broke his thumb, yeah.
Oh, that's why he didn't come back in.
Yeah.
Well, dude, so the minute that Geno Smith came in, you knew it was over.
Like the substitute teacher walked into class.
You know it was done, man. As soon as Geno Smith came into town, man, it was like done. So,
and Gino definitely put another circle on his resume as we got to get rid of this dude as soon as possible because dude came in and it was like. You know what I'm saying? Cats was looking at each other go, oh, no.
I know.
Imagine how that is. Like, you as the gambler, right, when you're sitting over there watching the game and you see the dusty backup coming in, you're like, oh, not this dude, really? Oh, I got my money on this team. Think about the players on the sideline. What's going on in their mind?
I know, man. I know. Pretty crazy, dude. But
they're like, here he goes. And he got to do. And they've been watching him do the same dumb stuff in practice, too. So they're like, oh, this dude is the same thing every time.
Yeah, exactly. And, obviously he did not perform. But the guy that did perform was Derek Carr, man. 333 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Carr got busy. I'm still not sold on the Raiders, though.
No, of course not. Of course not. But they're 4-3.
But they're 4-3. The NFL, man, what a mediocre product they got right now. Yep. There's a big bunch up in the middle of a bunch of these teams that are like, they could beat each other like that any given Sunday thing, which I'm like not the biggest fan of, because I'd rather have quality teams than a bunch of mediocre subpar teams that can beat each other on any day just because, some dude is playing well and some dude isn't. I'd rather have a team that's built of good I'd rather see a good package than just a bunch of like mediocre things. That's just how I feel about it.
You know what's funny is that these two teams, the Jets and the Raiders, are in the hunt for the AFC wild card.
I know.
Man.
I know.
You gotta love that, man.
Dude, because when you look at it, it's Green Bay, it's the Patriots, Cincinnati, and then like everything else to me is just all mixed up.
Oh, you can't forget about Denver, though.
I'm freaking son. We were going. I know we're going there at some point.
Right.
So we might as well go there now.
Let's go
ahead.
there now. I just want to let you know that the home team underdog on prime time went ham last night, man, because the Broncos probably looked at it, saw that they were an underdog, and say, you know what, we're not going to let Aaron Rodgers even throw for 100 yards. And sure enough, Aaron Rodgers threw for 77 yards on that defense, man. And your boy, hey, not bad. 340 yards, 11 and just over 11 and a half yards per pass. No touchdowns, though, Dream. Just one interception.
When I watched this game, I got to be honest with you. The first thing that I had an issue with right out of the gate when this game first started, and you know what? MOB will tell you, because I DM'd him at the game. I said that I had a problem because I saw out of nowhere the Broncos were able to run the ball. And I'm like, whoa. Yep. That I knew was like that was definitely the formula for an issue with that game, because the Broncos hadn't been able to run the ball against any opponent prior to that, and all of a sudden they're running the ball on Green Bay. That changes everything, because now you're going to bring other teams, when you weren't able to run the ball, were able to sit back in coverage and cover. Now that you can run the ball, you bring it in guys to worry about the run, and now that's going to open up your pass a little bit. And of course, with a quarterback as obviously as talented as Peyton Manning is, it's going to come, he's going to come through. I know some of you guys, if you're salty about this game that took Green Bay, I feel you. Did the media set you up for this game? Maybe a little bit. Peyton's, and me too. I fed into it too. And I'm still staying by it, though. Peyton can't throw the ball. Denver can't run. Their offense is getting nothing done. Now, boom, here comes Green Bay. Offense is incredible. They're looking off the hook. Defense is pretty good. And they're coming in, and they're going to beat the Broncos. Yeah, this kind of had like a little bit of that setup written on it. I see it now in the aftermath of it. My whole issue, though, is I'm going to blame it on the running game getting going, because I still have a problem with Peyton Manning's arm. And I know a lot of people, I heard the media, I heard Collinsworth yesterday trying to say, oh, his arm looks fine. Oh, he could throw the ball deep. Yeah, him not throwing the ball deep wasn't the issue. He can throw the ball deep. Throwing the ball deep and accurate is the question mark, because I see him with that glove on, and I watch the ball coming out of his hands. Mm-hmm. There's an issue there. I mean, I've watched Peyton Manning enough, and so have most of you, I'm sure. There's an issue there as far as the accuracy is concerned. Yeah, can he still get out, that long, throw that ball long and get it out deep? Of course, one of them high arcing passes. Yeah. I saw him overthrow one of his guys by like 4 or 5 yards, because that's more of just an arm management kind of thing. What we're talking about is you're talking about that 20-yard laser pass that you got to hit a guy in stride, maybe on a slant or a skinny post that you're trying to hit like 20 to 25 yards down the field. That's the pass that Peyton, I don't believe, can any longer throw. So those are some of my issues with him. I still, I love the dude to death. You guys know he's one of my favorite athletes, but I don't believe that. I still believe, guys, as we go on in this season and it will come to more fruition, they're going to lose games because of him, because I don't believe he can make throws anymore.
All right. Well, a couple of things that I want to, talk about real quick. I did tell you that Green Bay has no pass rush.
Yeah, you did.
You saw it last night.
No, they were in his face. I mean,
so,
he wasn't.
They didn't even get to him. He never got sacked.
No, I know, but they were in his face. He got rushed. They were there. They were there.
Yeah, but you know what? Not enough, though, apparently. He did have 340 yards, kid. So, when you take a look at that, I mean, I think this Denver team is a little bit of an issue, man. They are 7-0. They're 3-0 at home. And you know what? If you have a defense and a halfway decent offense, you can win any game, Dream. You can win any game. You could beat a team like a Patriots. You can. Period. I mean, look at Seattle the last couple of years. Look at their offense. If their offense compared to Denver's offense of this year, Seattle's offense of the previous couple of years, who would you rather have?
I'm not sure about that.
That's tough, right? I mean, because obviously Peyton Ball is a way better quarterback than Russ Wilson. However, Seattle had beast mode. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I
know that Peyton Ball mentally is a better quarterback than Russell Wilson. I just don't think that he can make all the throws anymore, and that's my issue with the Broncos.
But if he gets the running game going, he's not going to need to.
You're always going to need to be able to make the throws.
Yeah, I get it. I know the run sets up the pass sets up the run. I totally get it. But, you have screen passes, you got bubble screens, you got all kinds of different stuff that he could be throwing out there. And, you don't have to be the best quarterback in the world to complete some of them short passes, Dream.
I hear you. Listen, I'm not pulling back from none of that. I hear you. I hear what you're saying. I agree with a lot of what you're saying, but I am not falling for Denver.
Okay. I don't blame you. You made too many.
I follow Peyton, been involved with this dude for a long time. I'm not doing it. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't until I can see him hit the throws in stride. If you're going to play with that screen passing and, those outs, then you're going to have, you're going to not – a couple of them games that they scored no points against bad teams, like the Raiders when they got pulled out by their defense in that particular – they're going to lose a couple of those games. I'm just saying. Yeah. But – we'll get into it more. There'll be more attractive situations that I'll like more than others, but I'm still not there with them.
All right, I got it. Well, two other games that were on the ticket, both nasty ones, but congratulations on calling the Houston Texans to get a victory there, 20-6 over the Titans.
Titans were inept like I expected them to be, and Houston did their thing. They were home. I thought that Houston would get the win. I was on that. That was just a nasty, ugly game.
Yes, definitely, man. And big ups to everybody that's out on Twitter at SBTV Nation. We are having a ball with you guys, man. So that pretty much does it for yesterday's stuff, and we got to talk about today's stuff, Dream.
We didn't do no Vikings over the Rams, the Bears.
Okay. All right, my bad.
You were on as well. Vikings ended up pulling that game out in the last minute in nice fashion. And we also didn't talk about your boy Rivers.
Oh, God. 2-6. He just went home. He was a little upset after the game. Then he went home and looked at his safe with all the money in there, and he was and his 8 kids, and he was like, you know what, I could care less right now, bro.
Oh, my man Rivers got you again, but you weren't.
No, I didn't mess with that.
Is you're happy because the Ravens beat him, so your 2 favorite teams played yesterday.
Shut
up.
No
matter what, you won.
I wasn't getting involved in that nastiness.
No,
man.
I know. I'm just playing.
Forget it, man. So, hey, big ups to OJFB for tearing it up out there, man. What is going on, brother? And, so that pretty much does it for all of the games as far as yesterday were concerned. And, I really got a good look at a lot of different teams yesterday, man. So, really pretty excited about tonight's game because we have the 3-4 Colts, who are 2-1 away, coming into the Carolina Panthers. Killer Cam, 6-0, 3-0 at home. But the Carolina Panthers are only minus 6.5, Dream, which I'm thinking that this game should be like an 8.5. Something's a little off here, which I can't put my finger on. The under-over is 46.5, and I know you can't stand Killer Cam, so you're probably not going to even be messing with this game. But
wait, I love OJFB play. It looks all dope, and he snuck in Trotter Ham. He got Trotter Ham. OJ, you wild for that player. He got Trotter Ham in the middle
England
of
soccer.
True junkie play.
Yes.
Willing to fight a win. Hey, I like that. Willing to fight a win anywhere, anyhow, anyway. Let me just throw this Trotter Ham in here real quick.
Gonna be in there on NFL Sunday. Be like, could you put on England soccer real quick?
You know what
for me
I'm
on
saying, yo?
one of these TVs?
I can see OJ up at the bar. Talk about, can I get the Trotter Ham game on? Cats is like, what? My dude.
England soccer, man. I love it.
I love him.
Love it. All right, man.
Good player.
Let's discuss this game tonight, Dream, because you know what? There's 6.5s, there's 7s. It looks like Carolina is obviously favored in this matchup. Statistically, all across their board, they are better defensively, better offensively, better rush yards, better pass D, better rush D, better, believe it or not, turnover differential. The Colts have a slight advantage, but, dude, what are we going to see tonight, man? The Colts are... I don't know about the Colts, man.
Listen, I know if there's any defense that can't handle Killer Cam, it's the Colts. All right? I'm going to just put it to you like that. If there's any defense that's going to struggle with Cam Newton's chewing gum and doing the Superman thing all day, it is definitely the Colts going to see a whole lot of Cam pulling out his Superman thing. Look, this game, I am not going nowhere near it. I don't like it. I don't like Carolina at all, but the Colts, forget it. Their defense and their dome team on grass, all that stuff. I can't. I'm good. I can't touch this game. This game's nasty.
Huh? Well, you know, I mean, you're historically a favorites guy.
I am,
but
I'm not.
I think you're just kind of like the reverse Homer pick here. I think you just can't stand Cam enough.
I don't like it, but my thing is it's not only just him. I just don't. I don't like it. I don't still understand how the team is winning. To be honest with you, they don't have they don't have any weapons. They have Cam, and then like who else are they winning with? And I know you guys could tell me the team concept or whatever. I don't know, whatever. I just don't. This team does not do it for me. They don't have multiple. I need to have, at least with Denver, there's multiple scoring options. I mean, I got Thomas at wide receiver. I got Sanders on the other side. I know that C.J. Anderson can possibly get the run going. And then there's Peyton Ball back there at quarterback, okay? So that along is complementing the defense. I can go to several other teams and name you at least a few people that I'm going to get together with. I go to the Panthers. I can't name you nobody. And it's not because I don't know their personnel. It's because nobody's really doing nothing other than Cam.
Well, you look at the defenses of both teams here, and Indianapolis is ranked number 31 in all of football, giving up about 408 yards to their opponents in their respective games. And when you look at Carolina's number 9, 339 yards per game. So right there, Carolina has the clear advantage as far as defense is concerned. And I believe they're even ahead of them offensively. I could be wrong about that, but let me pull it up real quick. We've got Indianapolis is number 16, and actually I was wrong. They're pretty similar, man. Carolina scores about 27 points a game and 344 yards per game offensively. So they're really similar as far as offenses, but the Colts can't score any points, man. They're scoring 21 points a game. So,
and not only that, the Colts, you know what? I watched the Colts last week against the Saints, man. They couldn't.
Nothing.
No, I'm good, guys. I'm good with this game.
All right. Well, you know what? Your boy over here is feeling Killer Cam to get the job done. Possibly even to cover the 6.5, but you know me, I'm not going to get involved with the points, man.
Please
you know
don't.
What I'm saying? I'm just plugging them to win the particular game, man. I think that's what I'm looking at as far as Carolina is concerned. Carolina Panthers, I just don't see how the Indianapolis Colts are going to go in with that awful defense and stop Cam.
Look, Daddy's account is chunky right now, and by the way, not because of football. But that isn't count as chunky right now because of baseball. I was on the cusp of getting it crazy yesterday, so I'm just going to fall back, regroup, and get ready for the upcoming week and try to dig in here. I am not going to chase with this nasty matchup tonight. I don't like it. I by no means am going to get involved in it. Guys, I happen to agree with Hatter. I think that the Panthers will win the game. Honestly, I do. Because they're home and because of Cam and because of the awful defense. I think the Panthers will find a way to win the game in ugly fashion. But I wouldn't bet on it.
All right, sounds good, man. And when you take a look at this offensively, let's look at the defenses real quick because I just want to see as far as pass yards per game how Indianapolis is, and they allow 285 yards through the air, number 30 in all of football. I just think Cam is getting better, man. I think he's getting better, and his passes are really crisp and just on point, and he's been pretty accurate. And with that read option, all the stuff, they got a lot of weapons, man, as far as, a lot of – let me rephrase that. As far as weapons are concerned, their play calling, they have a lot of different looks and a lot of different offenses they can run at you. I just think the Colts can't stop them, man, personally. So that's what I'm going to get down with as far as what I'm
said plugging. They got a lot of – okay, name me some of their weapons.
No, I'm not saying that. No, we talked about it, dude. Their depth chart, we don't really – there's not any really
all right.
real big playmakers as far as their depth chart.
I'm like, it's talking about a lot of weapons.
Nah, man. I mean, Calvin Benjamin is pretty dope. But that's about it. I liked him in college.
You didn't even sound right with that.
No, I liked him in college, man. He was one of my favorite receivers in college.
That's where I was going at. My man had just said Calvin Benjamin was pretty dope. The dope came out even tight on you. Didn't even really come out right.
Whatever, man.
We will have a pause in the dope.
We will have a conversation about it. But anyway, moving forward.
Speaking of dope, player, let's talk about the Chicago Bulls.
Yes. Nice. Dope in the beginking. And
not dope in the beginning.
Wanted to make it a stomach ache at the end.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about the other. I'm thinking about the Heat, but you're thinking about the Bulls. My bad. Yeah, no, the Bulls dope in the beginning. Love not covering the spread. Listen, if there was ever time to be involved with money lines, definitely do it with. Now I stress money lines with basketball.
Yeah, right.
I stress money lines with basketball. I'll play around with a spread or two here or there with football. Basketball, you have got to money line basketball because watch a team like the Bulls yesterday up 10 to 15 points.
Yeah, right.
The whole game,
man. The whole game, bro.
And then at the last minute, in the last, minute and a half to 2 minutes, they end up blowing the lead and end up winning the game by 5. No sense.
Absolutely crazy. And they were absolutely up by 3, towards the end. I was
I know.
What is going on with the Bulls, man? All of a sudden, Dream, I'm noticing that there's a lot of fourth quarter teams that are kind of taking their foot off the gas.
Off the gas. I know. I have seen that. But that's always been a little bit in hoop, brother. We've watched that over the seasons. The other game of note, too, was I was on the Heat as well. I told you guys about the Heat yesterday. The Heat were down 20-something points to the Rockets.
Yeah.
And came back and beat them by 20 points.
Son, the Rockets are booty, man. What is going on with
keep
them?
our eye out. The Rockets know. The Rockets, okay, hold on. They're not necessarily booty. They ran into Golden State. And we know Golden State is a monster.
But they lost their first game at home to a nobody. Who did they lose to?
I know. I relax. I know. I'm with you. I'm getting ready to go into that right now.
They got because he's man, whatever.
They lost to the Nuggles, brother. The Nuggles got them.
Denver beat them by 20 in their building, man.
The Nuggles got them. The worst. But this is what we love because, they got OKC.
That's what I'm trying to say, player.
Ooh. All right. Well, we're not going to get no OKC. But we'll get
0-3 Rockets playing the 3-0 Thunder tonight.
We'll get them after the Thunder. They're going to be ready to have a good game after the Thunder. We are not getting on them with the Thunder, though.
I know Howard was out of that first game, whatever. But, hey, they got to get it together, kid. Damn.
But I told you, this Heat team, guys, keep an eye on the Heat. The Heat are much improved this season. I really like what they're doing. I like what they play. Of course, always the thing with Heat is going to be, watching Dwayne Wade throughout the season. The games he plays and the games he doesn't play. Because the games that he's out, obviously, they may struggle a bit. But this Heat team, I really like them. Very improved.
All right. Jason Riley's asking me what I think about my boy first half tonight. The
Your
Panthers.
Boy,
my boy.
Who?
Cleve, kid.
Oh.
Cleve. I know we'll have a conversation about that. Obviously, they got the 76ers tonight, man. Give it 13 points. You know what? I just don't see any value there, brother. You know what I mean? Because you never know. I mean, Philadelphia could be one of these teams that could be up at the half. And then my boy just smokes them at the end. But, they're going into Philadelphia. I don't like that particular game. There is one that I do like in the NBA, though, and I like the San Antonio Spurs to win their respective game at New York in MSG, where they lost last year. They lost in embarrassing fashion. I think Pop's going to remember that. I think they come in with a purpose, and I think that they win this game tonight. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was a stomachache, Dream.
My thing is with Pop, he's not, to me, one of those type of coaches. Certain coaches, they get beat really bad. They star a game where they'll remember. Pop's like, he's one of them guys. His system's his system. His offense is his offense. He's not going to defer from it. He's like that, like his thing. I don't think he's going to be. I don't think this game has a personal effect on him. Like you're talking about the last. Yeah, he's going to say, yeah, they beat us by 50, whatever. Let's go and play him. I mean, I think he knows their leaps and bounds better than the Knicks. I think he's aware of that. As far as them coming in tonight, I think that San Antonio can win the game. Obviously, they're the better team. My problem is I don't know who the Knicks are. And I said this to you before the show, is the Knicks won a game, and I think Carmelo Anthony had 6 or 8 points. My thing was, who did all the scoring? So now all of a sudden, I don't know who they have or what's going on here. So I got to stay away from this particular matchup because I just don't know who the Knicks are right now. But I would assume that the Spurs are going to win the game, and that's the beauty of basketball, is if you get this money lined and you take the Spurs, you probably got it.
I think that's a really, really good situation there.
Yeah.
And, especially, last year the Knicks were absolutely terrible. And, San Antonio went into MSG, which is everybody gets up and plays at MSG, dude. Everybody. Except for them last year. So I just think that,
Except for the Knicks.
Yeah. Yes. I don't know, but, they did have a pretty impressive victory at Washington the other night, man. A Saturday night, they won that game by 7 at Washington. They let the Atlanta Hawks blow them out at home last Thursday, and I think Pop does the same. As far as the 8 points, guys, like the Dream is saying, just to win the game, I think that's where we're in a pretty good shape as far as the San Antonio Spurs are concerned. So looking at that, what else you got on the ticket as far as the NBA, brother?
I don't really like anything in the landscape. I got a couple of real slight leans. There's going to be a couple of good games. I do like to see this Warriors-Grizzlies game. I can't wait to see that matchup again, as that was a great series last year in the playoffs. That will be fun to watch. I'm not going to get involved with it financially, obviously. I also think that we will have to keep our eye out. I'd like to see this Clippers-Sun game. I don't really know who the Suns are this year either. Trying to figure them out. Trying to also figure out the Clippers. I know who the Clippers are, which it's who they've been the last few seasons. I'm just trying to figure out, are they a little bit more improved or not? So, I'm right there with them as well. But as far as any leans and things, I don't really have anything else as far as hoop is concerned.
I think the Clippers get the job done tonight. But when you look at Phoenix, they just beat Portland a couple of times. I don't know what Portland's going to be.
Yep.
That's one of those teams that we got, kind of scratching my head a little bit as far as trying to figure them out and trying to figure out the New York Knicks as well. But like I said, I think Pop wins that game, and I think the Clippers win tonight as well, Dre. So looking at that, and there are a couple of teams though that I think that we could pick on, and I think we could do pretty well with. I'm going to tell you two of them. Number one, the Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee Bucks got absolutely smoked by the Toronto Raptors last night, man. And I think that this team is going to have a really, really brutal year, man. What's your thoughts on the Milwaukee Bucks, kid?
I happen to agree with you. They look like they're off. They look like they're going to have a rough year. The only issue with them tonight is they're playing another team that's as awful as they are. So it's just going to be a awful game. Matter of fact, those guys should just take off their jerseys and maybe play a two-hand touch football game as opposed to playing hoop tonight. Yeah, it's going to be bad. I don't see them going anywhere this year, Milwaukee. I don't know what they got to do, but they do look bad.
Yeah, they look really bad. Them, and there's another team that we can pick on, and I think you're laughing in the background. They fell down 15-0 in the beginning of the game last night, and that is the Black Mamba and the Lake Show. I think we could clearly pick on the Lake Show this year. You know what I mean? And what's cool right now is that the odds makers have to catch up to these nasty teams. So now is where you can.
You know what's awful? Guys, if you ever come to my house to visit, you come down to the man cave. I got my man cave section off in like three sections, just like a baseball section. There's like a football section and a basketball section, and there's some boxing in the back, which is oddly themed. But the football and the basketball section is Lakers and 49ers, which are right now like two of the worst teams ever. And I had the babysitter over on Friday, and he's in the man cave going, ew, oh my God, your teams are awful.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, kid, shut up or I'm turning the Xbox off.
Yes. Well, they are pretty brutal, man. They are pretty brutal what you're looking at over
Make
there.
you earn your money tonight. You think you're going to sit here and play Call of Duty all now about to turn this piece off? You come down here disrespecting the game.
Yeah, man. So, Killer Cam so far, San Antonio Spurs, those are the ones that are tickling your boys' fancy on this end over
and
here.
The dream looks like I'm scheduled for a night off, as I am not going to get involved in either of those two games. Let's take a quick look over on the ice real quick. Guys, the ice hasn't been going that great. My Islander team this year, I don't know what's up with them. They can't get out of their own way. They are having some issues and a half this year, and they keep blowing these games. They get that one goal. They keep trying to hold on, and they can't hold on to it. And just real interesting. And then the other interesting dynamic last night was the Anaheim Mighty Ducks managed to beat the Predators out of nowhere.
Really? They got to win, huh?
Yep. The Ducks beat the Predators last night out of nowhere.
You knew they were due for
I
one,
know.
You know
I knew they were due.
And they'll probably turn it around at some point.
Yeah. Oh, no. Definitely. Obviously. But that was very interesting. They finally got a win out of the Predators. So maybe that is going to kickstart their season, which is long overdue. As far as what's going on tonight in the ice, we only got 3 games.
3 games. Yep.
Let me see what we got here.
I'm looking at this. I'm starting to really feel this Dallas team, man, too.
Dallas is dope. You know that. I told you Dallas
Anytime
is dope.
I'm doing fantasy, man, it's just like I'm always loaded with Dallas players.
Yep.
They score a lot of goals. Go ahead.
Yeah, my only issue with hockey is I'm a homer with hockey. I don't like these teams on the road a lot. You know, I'm not. I like to and then like you look at it, Dallas to Toronto. That's like. Hockey has the dynamic of they got that, out of the country travel.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not saying that the Stars are losing tonight because I'm not going there. But I just don't. I tend to like these guys. I like the teams a little bit more than they are at home. I'm going to stay away from this particular matchup right here. Even though the Stars honestly. They should kill the Maple Leafs. I mean,
well, obviously check your goalies, guys. Make sure your guys are in the net. And when you look at Dallas, I mean, superior in like everything, man.
Ben is that player.
except for the penalty kills where Toronto is slightly superior, but Dallas scores almost 4 goals a game, bro. Mm-hmm. Sick. 9
the Cowboys are trying to get some of the Stars to come put on some pads and play for them because they can't seem to get it done. But by the same token, another thing you need to be careful. I don't know if have you been watching the Los Angeles Kings? They've been quietly doing their thing.
I have not seen the Kings at all yet.
The Kings been quietly doing their thing, man. They've quietly been over there winning games. They're 7-3 right now. Blackhawks been up and down, very inconsistent. That team has been this year somewhat to say. And the Kings are coming and playing the Blackhawks tonight. I have no opinion on that as well. The only game that I do kind of like a very slight lean is the Canucks.
Okay.
I slightly like Vancouver to beat that Flyer team. The Flyers play tough, but it's like they just don't have the talent.
Yeah. Okay.
But like I said, it's slight. It's a slight. I'm not playing it, but if you guys want my opinion, there it is.
Vancouver averages 2.9 2.95 goals a game, just under 3. They give up 2.27, superior in pretty much every single statistical category I'm looking at here. Except for the power play percentage. Philadelphia is slightly superior in that aspect. But going back real quick, Dream, something stuck out at me with this Toronto Maple Leafs team. Is that their power play percentage is less than 10%, man, 8.33%. So 1 out of every 12 times they get a power play, they score a goal, man.
Right.
Brutal.
Yeah, brutal.
That's why I like Dallas.
Oh, no, son, there's no reason not to like Dallas, but other than the theory of reminds me of the game that we had. I think you had the Habs on Saturday. Remember we were doing, and I told you it was too easy. It has that too easy look to it.
Yeah. Especially if you're on the road.
Yeah, it has that too easy look, And then hockey, there's a lot of games, a lot of teams make the playoffs, so it's not quite like you get all the effort that you want. But yeah, the Dallas Stars should be able to beat the Maple Leafs in their sleep. I mean, they're
winners of 3 straight games, and they've had 4 in a row at home. So now they're taking their talents on the road.
Right. So it's probably fresh. You know what? I mean, if there ever was a shot to take, like I said, I wouldn't go heavy, but you probably are okay there.
I mean, that's a long flight, isn't it? From Dallas all the way to Toronto.
Yeah, it's long for me because I have to take 5 layovers. Yeah, right. But I'm assuming for them that they're on a charter plane.
Yeah, they haven't played since Saturday, man. So I'm sure the fatigue factor as far as traveling and all that's out the window, kid. They probably got out there yesterday and they're ready to play.
So what you think they are, like Southwest? Hey, look, it's the Dallas Stars sleeping over in the corner in the airport right now. They got to take Southwest to Cleveland, and I have to take a bus from Cleveland over to Hawaii.
I love it, man. All right, guys. So that's pretty much going to do it for the show, man. I like kicking it with you Monday morning quarterback, man. Going through the NFL, going through the Monday Night Football game, going through the NBA and the NHL, and baseball is over for you, Dream. So
baseball is a wrap, guys. I promise you. Okay. First of all, there's some talk about. There's some thoughts about me taking next year's baseball season off.
I'm kicking a Dream off for that.
Yeah, maybe get kicked off for baseball season. I don't know, but I promise maybe next year I'll be a little bit better with the. I actually was dope in the playoffs.
Yeah, no doubt.
And the World Series, but my regular season work was dusty, and I just didn't have the interest. Maybe next year I'll just have to get involved in fantasy baseball to have that interest.
Just do the fantasy, man.
I am going to work on it. We got to figure out whether I'm going to be on next year during baseball or not, though, because it might be idea time for the Dream to take a break. Anyway, I want to thank everybody who's out there retweeting the show this morning and listening. We got the Canadian Capper, Mr. Terrence McRigetti is out there. My boy Irvin is out there. CK wins JC to pick. Christos, Joseph Del Rosario, AB Lent, my boy Marlon. Strategic Investments is out there as well. Moneyline Hunter, what's happening to you? Total Sports Edge, good morning to you. 2-player BT, Ciroc King, J, my man Tommy King at TK Wins, Immaculate Benjamin Rowe, Jeff Ryan, no longer STD Freeze out there, Soccer's Finest, LA Whiz Kid, Nicholas J, TBW 5-1, Lone Star Ombre, Direct Sports Solution, Angelo Nunez, G Rose, the MOB, OJFB, what's up player, Too Tall, JP, Rado Sports, Vegas Girl 92661, Spot Bet, Long Woo, Jason Riley, P for Prez, JDH, my man James Harrelson, Sin City Maverick, and so many more. Big shout out to Average Joe Punter out there in sunny Australia, and many more of you guys out there that I know are listening. Maybe forgot to retweet because you've been so engrossed with listening to the show that you didn't get around to that, but I know you will retweet us later. Guys, as always, I am the Dream. Always remember who you're with. Make the most of each and every day, as you cannot get this time back.
Yes, sir. Dream. The T-shirts and female T-shirts are printed and delivered.
Dope!
Yes.
Dope! Y'all finally gonna get your T-shirt.
Yeah, we're all set, man. Hey, guys, sorry for the delay, but, we changed the logo. We had a bunch of different stuff go on in between, and, we found the right distributor. They are done, printed, paid for, and ready to be shipped, man. So, looking very much forward to it. And, guys, if you get yourselves a T-shirt, send us a photo of it, man, and what we'll do is we'll post you on our social media.
Definitely.
We are 194 countries strong, so I'm sure everybody's going to want to see everybody with the SBTV apparel on and rocking and rolling, and they're really nice, man. So with that said, we love you to death. Go out there, go easy, do your own homework, take your own plays, visit SBTVNation.com, and get that money. Let's go.